and welcome to episode 2 of Momologues. I'm Andrea,
Welcome. I am Tanya.
and this week we have some awesome information lined up for you. But firstly, we want to say a huge thank you to everybody for showing us some love on the socials, on our YouTube channel, our Instagram, our Facebook. And I'm not 100% sure where else we're going to be, but we will keep you posted with that. We
Yeah.
are a new podcast and we would love some interaction and some love from you guys. Please continue to share our content. And also, if you want to get in touch with us with regards to a sponsorship, please check our details below.
Yes. Please check our details below. Very, very important. So, what are we doing this week? We're talking about our highlights. Andrea, what highlights did you have for this week?
So the highlight that I have for this week is I actually managed to stop procrastinating, and I actually got a whole stack of admin sorted. I wanted to literally clear space for the podcast and the things that I want to do with the podcast, my planning and my notes and things. And I had this huge stack of admin that was in my way, and I actually finished it 10 minutes before we came onto the podcast. So I'm thrilled.
That's brilliant. That is
Mm,
brilliant. That's a fantastic highlight for the week.
yeah,
Um, my highlight for the week is self-care. I did mention it last week a little bit. I think I
yeah,
needed to focus a bit more on it. And I think just talking about it and, people keeping you accountable, that you start focusing on things that are important, and self-care is important to
absolutely.
me. And self-care doesn't mean that I go for massages or pedicures or things like that. Self-care to me means doing a bit of meal preparation. So I made a big pot. I made two pots. One was a chicken curry, one was a lamb curry, and I aced it.
Lovely.
So normally people don't like eating my food because I like to change the recipe, not because I want to change it, just because I don't always have all the ingredients. So you sort
And
of
you're
need to
adventurous
learn.
as well. You're adventurous as well.
Okay, fair
So,
enough. Yes,
mm,
adventurous as well. So people don't always, they're a little bit like scared of trying the food, but this time it was fantastic. They loved it. They went for seconds and the pot was finished. So I did a bit of meal prep for the week. So
that's
in the
awesome.
week we have our lunches that are prepared.
Mm,
And to me, that is part of self-care. And I also continued with my activity regimen because, as you know, I just recently had a baby, so you sort of need to get your figure back into everything. You need to get your energy back into it. You need to get
yeah.
your fitness level back into it. So at the moment, I'm on 10 push-ups. That's what I
Well
can do.
done. That's amazing.
Yeah, but we're getting there. So for me, yeah, that's my highlight for the week.
Fabulous.
So Andrea,
So I just want to circle back
yeah.
to the self-care thing, and I actually spent quite a lot of time thinking about it. Um, and I think back to also when my peanut was a lot smaller than what she is now. And she just took up so much of my time. Bless her, this little being that was so reliant on me,
They do
took
take
up
up
all
so
my
much time,
time
but
that
we
it
love
was
them.
just, oh, I know, right? We'll do it all again. It's not worth it, all that
Yes, we
nonsense.
will. And you know what, Andrea? It's okay. It's okay to say you're tired.
Yes,
It's okay to say you're not coping. It's
yes.
okay. It doesn't make you a bad mom. It
No,
makes you a
it
good
doesn't.
mom.
Yeah, but you mustn't blame the child. You mustn't say I'm
No,
tired
we're not
because of the
blaming.
child, but you can
No.
be tired.
Yes,
That's
you're
the one
allowed
thing
to
I
be
did learn.
tired.
But what I used to do eventually when I also was neglecting self-care quite a bit was I found a way to bring in the things that I wanted to do into like my normal routine. So for example, when Peanut was bathing, then I would put on a face mask. And while she was in the bath for 10, 15 minutes, the face mask had a chance to set, and then I could wash it off when she was done. And it actually just felt good. It was that little bit um, of time that I could prioritize for myself. And granted, it wasn't uninterrupted, it wasn't, but it was something I could do for myself while I was busy with other things. And I think that's also, self care doesn't have to be like a whole day thing, it doesn't have to be a whole
Correct.
weekend thing. It's the
You need
small
to fit
things
it
that you
in.
consistently do. Yeah, exactly. So it's 10 push ups here. Eventually, I'm pretty sure you'll get to 10 push ups 3 times a day, you know, but try and do 30 in a row. And I mean, I don't think I can do three in a row. So, 10 is great. I'm so proud of you.
What was your low light this week, Andrea?
So, my low light for this week. So, I had a little bit of a emotional. reaction to something that was bothering Peanut. So we were driving home from school one afternoon, and she just started going. I think it was just with the new routine with going back to school and the changes and things. It does take a couple of days for her to settle, but she literally um, started screaming blue murder in the car on the way home because the
Oh,
sun was
shame.
shining on her.
Because the
So
sun was
the
shining.
sun was shining on her. And as much as I was trying to talk to her to try and calm her down and to get her through the situation or get her through that moment, I eventually started screaming as well. And I felt like a terrible mom in that moment because I'm like, I cannot believe we're actually having an issue with the sun that's shining on her. But yeah, so when I got home, I just went and sat outside and had a cup of coffee, and I was like, you know what? I just had a bad moment. I'm not a bad mom. So, but yeah, I don't like, I like to think I'm more in control of my emotions and things that I wouldn't react. But, it's a confined space. You're busy paying attention to the 500 other cars on the road,
Correct.
and the taxis that are doing their thing and the people that are running across the road. And now my child is upset because the sun is shining on her. I mean, as if I don't have enough to take into consideration in a day. I now have to choose a direction to drive home in that the sun doesn't bother her. I mean, as one does.
So
So
let's
yeah,
circle back to that. How do you manage when your daughter has an episode like that? It's a tantrum, is it, or not?
no, it's not really a tantrum. I don't classify it as a tantrum because she's not acting out because of something. She's overwhelmed in her emotions in that moment. So it's big in her world. So the sun was
Okay.
bothering her. It was big in her world. It's not a big issue to us, but it was big in her world. So I try and see things from her perspective, which is sometimes also very difficult. From a 7-year-old. I mean, um,
The reason I'm asking, so let me
mm,
explain a scenario to you. On the weekend, I had my nephew with me, and
yeah,
I mean, he's amazing. He's like
yeah, he's
not
so
scared of
cute.
anything. He's only
Yeah,
3, turned 3 recently. And we were busy pushing my daughter in the pram. And we went up the street with the pram. And he obviously wants to push, so I'm not allowed to touch the pram.
of
And
course.
then we came down the street back to the house because I needed to come fetch my partner because he had to come do something with us. Again, we had to go back up the street. So then my nephew wanted to push the pram again, but now he didn't want to go up the street. He's already gone up the street. He wants to go down the street, but we're not going to go down the street. We need to go back up the street. So
Mm,
all of a sudden, he was very, very upset, but in such a way that it was almost uncontrollable.
mm.
So would that be classified as a tantrum? Or is there
See,
no
I don't know.
classification for it?
I don't
But
know. I think we need to circle back to tantrums next week. But
okay, let's circle
so
back to
so
it.
what I would do if I was in that situation, and what we have done with Peanut is I try and get her to focus on her breathing. So I try and meet her where she is, or try and just name and tame, like we said last week. So I'll say to her, Jess, I need you to calm down. I can't hear you while you're screaming. Please just take a breath for me. And then just, Jess, take a breath for me. Take a breath for me. Take a breath for me. And sometimes she calms down. It's usually relatively quick. But maybe that's because we've been doing the approach for so long that she knows, okay, well, if she carries on for 5 minutes, that's all I'm going to keep saying. So the quicker she calms down, the quicker we can move past it, which generally does work. But I found that it actually explaining to her why I've said no or why we can't do it her way, she's generally okay with that as soon as she understands. So we
Okay.
can't go down the hill because we don't know what's down there. Going uphill is safer. Maybe that would have been, if, for example, if that was the reason. Or there's dogs down there and I don't want them to bother the baby. Please, can we go up this way? Then they
No, but
generally
I think for a 3-year-old, it might be a little bit more difficult to understand.
don't underestimate
So,
them. Don't underestimate
okay,
them.
okay. But what
Uh,
what we obviously do is we just let him cool down and we sort of went
yes.
up the street and then eventually he followed. A little
Yeah.
sulking, but he followed.
Yeah. Yeah. And you, what about your low light?
So my low light for this week is feeling a bit overwhelmed and not asking for support, being a bit
Yeah.
stubborn about it. So I think it's something I would like to bring in. next week is talking
Okay.
about how to bring in that support. Can asking for support. I think a lot of moms
Yeah.
don't do it because for me personally, I feel like I'm not going to be a good enough mom if I ask for support. I should be able to do everything. Moms are like
Mm,
superheroes, right?
yeah.
Shouldn't we be able to do it all?
Mm.
Um, but yeah, asking for support, I don't think it's a bad thing to do at the end of the day, and it just helps if you have that support.
It absolutely does. And also need to remember, my friend, that it takes a village. It literally does. Nobody was meant to do this alone. It's so difficult as it is. And I mean, I only take my hat off to people that choose to do this alone. But I mean, you've got my number. You can reach out to me anytime. So
Thanks. I will.
I'm
No, but
happy to
these were
help.
like, yeah, these were just like things that like I needed to do on my own, and it was just getting too overwhelmed, and I needed to like, yeah. But anyway,
But
so
sometimes just a phone call and say, I just need to vent. I just need to tell you everything I need to do, and it's okay. Because then you feel better afterwards. So you vented,
true.
you've made your list, you've got a
Yeah,
plan, and then you feel good afterwards. And sometimes, I mean, like, that works as well. That's also a way also of self-care because you're not bottling it inside. And it is a
yeah.
way of reaching out for support because there's somebody that's met you where you've needed them to.
Great, Andrea. Thanks for sharing that. So
Always.
we're moving on to,
Today, okay, so I think we just need to add before you go that we at the moment are recording, pre-recording. So this episode was recorded on the 13th of May, which makes this next part quite important.
oh, yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
So, yeah. Okay, tell us, what is so special about the 13th of May?
So the 13th of May in this week is a special day because it is National Nutty Fudge Day in America.
Oh,
And
wow.
I think sometimes you need a bit of deliciousness in your life. So we're going to share a lovely nutty fudge recipe with you on our Facebook page that you can go have a look at, like, share, and tell us what you think of it. And yeah, that's what I want to share for our section.
Community good news story. Gee whiz,
Community good news story.
I love fudge. I won't lie. I really do. However,
A stoke of fudge is also great.
as you get to know me, you'll realize I'm not a baker and I'm not a cook and I consume well, but I don't produce well in the kitchen.
But that comes, you need to, it's like speaking a language. You need to continue practicing until you get it. But you also
Babe,
need to have a drive for it. You
babe,
need to want to do it.
I don't even have an oven. Like we got rid of it. It was in the way. We've got we've got like a stove top that we use and we've got an air fryer, but I don't
Yeah, but
have an
that's perfect.
oven.
You don't need more than
So
that.
yeah, the air fryer is not that big. So like I can't bake like 20 cupcakes for peanut school or whatever. So, which has actually served me
Got
quite
it.
well because then I send it to her grannies and like, oh, Peanut needs to bake. She needs to come to you. So then she goes off to Granny's house to bake.
But I'm sure they also enjoy the time.
They enjoy the time quite a lot.
Not all
Oh,
mothers are bakers. That's okay.
no, I'm a Woolworths mum.
I've had some horrific baking. Fortunately, my nephew eats everything, so he had some of my experimental baking, but nobody else had it.
Oh,
But I
cute
promise
me.
you, the nutty fudge is not bad. That's really good. That you
Okay,
can try.
awesome.
Just keep to the recipe. Don't change
Yeah.
it.
All right. Yeah, nutty fudge. I think you should just put a disclaimer on because like half the population these days is allergic to nuts as well. So,
Yes, yes.
yeah.
So just make sure that you can eat all the ingredients and there's no
Yeah.
allergies.
Absolutely. All right, I just want to circle back to the self-care for moms. Um, because I mean, you've got a very, very beautiful tiny baby, and mine's obviously a little bit older where she's more independent and can do things for herself. So, what are some of the things that you sort of feel you've neglected in terms of self-care from before you had a baby and now?
just shaving my legs. I think that's a big one. Like, I mean, when you shave your legs, automatically you
Mm.
feel a bit, you feel sexier.
And
So there
cleaner.
was a
Yeah.
point in pregnancy that you can't reach to shave.
Mm.
Um, and then you have to ask someone else to assist. And
Mm.
then after pregnancy, because I had a cesarean, everything was still a bit sore and numb and
Mm.
yeah, so it
Sensitive.
took time for me just to do that. And even just to go for, an underarm wax, just
Mm.
getting back into it. Like baby takes up all your time. You need to do certain things, just a little bit of grooming to make you feel good, a little bit of
Yeah.
grooming to make you feel like a woman again,
Yeah.
That that just makes all the
Yes.
difference in self-care.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, mine was face mask. Like I really enjoy, and I really try to do a face mask at least once a week. Um, and but like the full on facial used to be like a whole day episode. Just because it used to take that long to try and get everything together, from the cleansing to the toning and the steam and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, I did them at home. I did them at home. I enjoyed them, but it's definitely much nicer when you go to a salon to have it done. But anyway, one
So
day when we grown up, um, but also the other thing that you shouldn't underestimate is a nice, nourishing hair mask that you can do at home. So yeah,
what
instead of
would
just
you
like
what would you
washing and
recommend?
condition. So Discam's actually got a great selection. Tags for Discam. Free advos. But so they've really got nice like single use hair masks, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it going off because there's nothing worse than buying something, using it twice, then packing it away because it's special and forgetting about it and finding it 3 years later. That's just
Yeah.
bad.
That's not on. That's not
No,
great at
no.
all.
So the hair mask, which was quite nice because I used to put my hair mask on and while I was having a bath because that would obviously take longer than a shower. And then the other thing that I really love to do, I must be honest, I think I'm talking like I'm going to give away a very big secret now, is I do have a tablet, but I also have a cell phone. Obviously, everybody's got a cell phone. But what I love to do is when I have a bath, is to put like a show or something on my tablet or on my cell phone and then I balance it where I can like literally sit in the bath and watch it because you almost feel guilty being in the bath
I
and
would
taking
be
time.
too afraid that it falls into the water.
But you see, you need to just plan it properly.
Okay.
You need to like find a recipe book stand or a something that it can't fall over accidentally and it's not close enough to the water. So bring in like a little table or a little chair or a little something, a rocky or for whatever, and then it's close to the bath, but not too far.
Yes.
It's not close enough to fall in, but it's close enough for you to see, and it's
And
close
then you
enough
can
for you
watch a
to
nice
enjoy.
show.
And then you can watch like a nice show, like an uninterrupted, if you're lucky, episode of, I don't know,
Whatever you like.
Temptation Island, or I don't know, uh,
But
I Am a
self-care is
Killer. No, that's the
so
series,
to
not
all the
not
moms
me.
out there,
Mm,
remember it boosts things like physical health, it boosts your mental health, it
mm,
enhances productivity. Like the more you care for yourself, the more you fill your own cup, the more you
mm,
can care for other people. And as moms, we
mm.
are naturally
Guilty.
wanting to care for others more than we want to care for ourselves.
Yeah,
So make sure that you care for yourself before you care for the others, because then you care
exactly.
for them much better.
Exactly. You can only give from a full cup. If you're not a full cup, you're actually doing your family a disservice.
I
So that
agree.
was a hard lesson for me to learn. I'm speaking from experience. I realize not everybody's going to agree with me and realize not everybody can agree with me, and that's fine. But if you focus yourself and keep your cup full, I promise you, your relationships around you will infinitely feel less pressured and better. All
Correct.
right. So something you maybe didn't want to know. So I've went and found something that I really thought about. Obviously we drive a lot and there's signage everywhere. And sometimes the signage is just off. So I'd really like to ask our viewers if they have seen a sign somewhere that has made them laugh. Please post it to our Facebook page or in the comment section. Please, we would love to see it and we'd love to have a good laugh with you. So what I'm going to show you now is a couple that I have identified, which I thought were hysterical. Can you You see my screen. I'm going to make it bigger for you. So this first one that we've got here is
Fast
supposedly
taco.
fast taco.
Oh, fast taco.
I know exactly. I also read fart taco. This is why fonts are important. So I decided to call this section What the Font. So now you know. So fart
Love it.
taco. There we go. This is a sign for a massage therapist.
Ooh, hot.
Oh, no. How did that one get past the final what's that sign-off sheet where the customer signs off? Surely they must have seen it, but that's too much of a gap between the E and the R.
Shoe.
Then this
Oh,
is, yes, it's supposed to say click.
whoa, jette.
Yeah.
There the C and the L went too close to each other.
Yes. The
Way too
company.
close.
Here's another example of click gone wrong. Click
That
lovers.
is different. How did they approve that?
I don't know. But even
That is
the
a flip.
logo is wrong. It's just terribly wrong.
They
I
should have
don't
just
think
moved it.
this should
Oh,
have been yeah, I don't think this should have been approved artwork at all.
ay, ay, ay.
So this is key lime tarts or farts, depending on what you read first, but key lime tarts.
I read farts.
No, it's supposed to be tarts, exactly.
Oh.
All right, and the last one, a lovely
Oh,
card from
shoe.
Hallmark for a special aunt.
Shoe.
Aunt. Ah, so that's what I've got for you in What's the
That
Font
is
this week.
well done.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
I
Well
thought
done
they
for
were great.
spotting that. I'm
Thank
looking
you.
forward to everyone's signs that they want to share with us.
Yeah, I'd love to see some. I'm pretty sure Diedrich will be able to share a couple because he travels quite a lot, and Diedrich is a business acquaintance that we both have. So I'm pretty sure he'd be able to share quite a lot with his tour groups and things that
Yes.
he's seen. Yeah. You see, now this is the part where the jingle would come in.
Oh, when we're
And then we'll
wrapping up.
wrap up. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's all we have for this week. If you would like to get hold of us, our information is in the bio. We would love it if you could give us a like, a share, a follow, tag us in posts that you think are funny, things that you'd like us to review on the pod. We would love to do that as well. Tanya, over to you.
Just finishing up. Okay, I've got something. So
Okay.
thank you, everyone. It was amazing having you here. Thank you for watching our episodes. Thank you for likes and the shares. If you want to see more, remember to like and share. Just use our details below if you need more information. And remember, we real moms, real people. We like to share real things happening, and we'd like to know what's happening in your life. So let us know if you can relate to whatever we're talking about, and share with us some things from your side.
Awesome. See you again next week. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.